What if I told you everything that you were taught was a lie? Better yet, a set of lies agreed upon, constructed and manipulated to fit a particular perspective. This is the story of Uncle Sam, the slave. The land of the free, home of the slave. It's no secret, from the White House to the Capitol, to the Transcontinental Railroad, America was built on the backs of black people.
I was quite surprised to see you use the word Aborigines talking about African Americans.
You can't just close down camp and stop trying to do the things that you think are right. Just because somebody, you may give them an unfortunate bit of ammunition, you still got to continue to fight on and do what's best for the state in the long run. And frankly, it's going to give me the opportunity to talk about things that I may never been able to talk about before.
On April 15, 1493, Columbus returned to Barcelona, Spain, after his first voyage to the Americas. He brought with him a group of indigenous people from the Caribbean whom he considered to be Indians, to be enslaved and presented to the Spanish monarchs, King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella, as a demonstration of his success in finding new lands and potential labor sources. This act marked the beginning of the enslavement of American Indians and the transatlantic slave trade. Columbus and his men rounded up Arawak men, women, and children and enclosed 550 of them into pens and 4 caravels bound for the slave markets of southern Spain during his second voyage to the New World. Approximately 200 perished during the passage, and their bodies are cast into the sea. After the survivors are sold as slaves in Spain, Columbus later writes, "Let us, in the name of the Holy Trinity, go on sending all the slaves that can be sold." Additionally, while in Haiti, Columbus orders all natives 14 years or older to collect a certain amount of gold every 3 months, an impossible task since there is so little gold there. If Arawak natives do not collect enough, Columbus has their hands cut off and tortures them. Bartolomeu de las Casas, a young priest, witnesses many atrocities committed by Spaniards against native people. He later wrote, "I saw here cruelty on a scale no living being has ever seen or expects to see." Las Casas describes the treatment of natives thus: "Our work was to exasperate, ravage, kill, mangle, and destroy. Small wonder then if they tried to kill one of us now and then. The admiral, it is true, was blind as those who came after him, and he was so anxious to please the king that he committed irreparable crimes against the Indians." Las Casas also notes that the Spaniards thought nothing of knifing Indians by 10s and 20s and of cutting slices off them to test the sharpness of their blades. Dum Diversas was a papal bull issued by Pope Nicholas V in 1452. The bull was part of the doctrine of discovery, which was used to justify the colonization of the Americas and enslavement of indigenous peoples. The bull authorized the king to fight against Saracens and pagans who were rising against the Catholic faith. The bull used language that identified non-Europeans as quote-unquote other and targeted them for slavery. The bull was followed up by the Bull Romanus Pontifex, which extended dominion over quote-unquote discovered lands to Catholic nations of Europe. The doctrine of discovery was used as a precedent in the U.S. legal system. The Vatican has formally rejected the doctrine of discovery. The doctrine of discovery was a religious decree in the 1400s that became the basis for legal concepts in the U.S. Aunt, as in Aunt Jemima, was the term used for older enslaved women in the South who were not allowed by their white owners to use the term Miss or Mrs. Same with uncle, as in Uncle Ben's converted rice. Uncle was used for older enslaved men because they were not allowed by their white owners to use the term Mr. Uncle Ben, Uncle Tom, Uncle Ruckus, and Uncle Sam, all Uncle slaves, the personification of America.
Salutations! It's your Uncle Sam, and this is the Great American Game.
Uncle Sam has a not-so-secret dark past. Hidden meanings in plain sight, childhood fairy tales, and nursery rhymes hold clues about America's true history. Whether Yankee Doodle Dandy or Nigger Doodle Dandy, the racial subject is clear as day. So what does all this really amount to? Patriotic symbols of a virtuous nation, the rabbit hole turned out to be deeper than the majority of us would imagine. We are told that Uncle Sam was a Yankee character created in 1813. Have we all been deceived? The more we know nothing. According to historical research, an estimate of as many as 5 million indigenous people were enslaved in the Americas between the arrival of Columbus and the early 20th century. Indigenous people were enslaved by various European powers across the Americas, including the Spanish, French, and British, often through warfare and forced displacement. This aspect of history is often overlooked or hidden, despite the significant number of indigenous people who were enslaved. Historically, in all regions of the United States, particularly in the South, American Indians were often classified as colored or Negro due to racist policies and the one-drop rule, which categorized anyone with even a trace of Negro ancestry as black. This practice was especially prevalent in Virginia, where officials like Walter Plecker effectively reclassified American Indians as colored on official records. The enslavement of and reclassification of American Indians as Negro effectively erased 5 million indigenous people, a paper genocide, Walter Plecker's very own American Holocaust. Hidden in plain sight, the descendants of these American Indians are unaware of their true history and their true identity.